Hello, friends. I'm Jason White. Welcome to the Great Outdoors. I'm a little orange today. I was out putting birds in the field, actually. Came right to the station, so if I'm a little bright on the camera, you know why, so I apologize in advance. But I want to give a special shout-out to our sponsors today, the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. You can join the MOA today at marianaoutdoors.com. Again, marianaoutdoors.com. Currently accepting members for 2025 1,000-yard rifle range, over 2.5 miles of private trout fishing, stocked monthly from October to at least May. Fish range in sizes from a minimum of 10 to 12 inches is typically the smallest, up to 30 plus inches and sometimes 10 plus pounds. So 6 species of trout: browns, brooks, rainbows, tigers, palominos, and patriot trout. Certainly love to have you. Come check us out. Oh, and last but not least, I got to mention about upland bird hunting. Fantastic upland bird hunting incorporated with your membership. Access to approximately 300 acres of upland bird hunting fields. Certainly an amazing place. marianaoutdoors.com, marianaoutdoors.com. Wild Acres Farm Fishery and Regulated Hunting Grounds, which is managed and operated by 10 Mile Creek Outfitters. 10 Mile Creek Outfitters provides guided hunts for whitetail deer, wild turkeys, all free ranging. Also guided hunts when it comes to upland birds and guided fishing trips. Certainly would love to have you. Check us out on our website, 10mileco.org, which stands for 10 Mile Creek Outfitters. But again, 10mileco.org. If you're interested in having a corporate event, a holiday party, family get-together, wedding, provide all of those amenities as well, different times of the year. Again, 10mileco.org, or give us a call at 724-579-0924. I want to highlight some upcoming events real quick for the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. And those events include, I apologize, Friday, January the 3rd is trout stocking number 5 of the season. That will be taking place at 3 p.m. We always meet at 1997 Maury Road, Clarksville, PA 15322. We'll stock the 10-mile section, and then we do Daniels Run after. Just to reiterate, we have 2 sections of stream: 10 Mile Creek, which is a much wider, larger body of water, and then a smaller tributary called Daniels Run. Again, that is trout stocking number 5, Friday, January the 3rd, 2025, and that's at 3 p.m. Love to have you. Saturday, January the 4th, 10 a.m., we're actually going to have an open house and a tour. 1997 Maury Road, Clarksville, PA 15322. Certainly is welcome to everybody to have you. Please come and check out what our amenities, what we have to offer, and I think you will not be disappointed. Saturday, January the 18th, we're going to have a continental pheasant hunt. That is $250 a person to participate. It's a fun time. If you've never been at a continental shoot, they're pretty fun. Information for this is on our MOA Facebook page, Mariana Outdoorsman Association, and you can also check out information at marianaoutdoors.com. Trout stocking number 6 will be held Friday, February the 7th, 2025 at 3 p.m. Same location. Trout stocking number 7, Friday, March 7th, 2025 at 3 p.m. Let's see here. Trout stocking number 8, Thursday, April the 3rd, 2025, 3 p.m. Trout stocking number 9, Thursday, May 1st, 2025 at 3 p.m. And then Friday, May 2nd through Sunday, May 4th at noon will be the 2025, which is the second annual PA Trout Classic. Information for the PA Trout Classic is, again, on our Facebook page, Mariana Outdoorsman Association, and also marianaoutdoors.com. I certainly hope everybody had a fantastic hunting experience this year. I know hunting season is far from over, but as far as PA archery season and also, I should say early PA archery season and the PA rifle season, time has obviously since passed, and I've seen a lot of, a lot of great images of some awesome bucks across the state of Pennsylvania, which I think is very cool. I think it presents certainly a testament to all the hard effort, work people put in throughout the entire calendar year, which I think is great. Obviously it goes into show what I've been saying on many episodes about how do I want to say this, about your effort, about the time you put in, about all the things that are taking place throughout the entire calendar year that can contribute to a successful hunt. But whether you had a successful hunt this year or not, if you are not going to hunt flintlock the late season, now is the perfect time. The deer are really going to have a lot of their trails. As time progresses here, they're just going to keep beating them down more and more, and it'll look a little almost mud is what you're going to see. It's going to look like almost a little cattle trail. These are all, like, I would say, very important things for you to know and understand. You could start looking at places right now where, what are your opportunities for success in the future? And I actually just did this yesterday. I went scouting on a piece of property I hadn't really got to do. My dad and I took a nice long walk yesterday. Looked at two different pieces of property, actually. One about installing a tower stand in a woodlot, and then kind of scouting some new property that we have, but we really just didn't get there to really do what we wanted to do. Found a lot of sign. Actually, and it's how do I want to say this? We walked through thick stuff. We walked through places that were pretty open. We walked on power lines. We walked on gas lines. We certainly bebopped around, and you just kind of are looking for all the telltale signs, I would say, of deer sign. So you're looking for the scrapes that we've talked about if they're out and about. I found some scrapes. You're looking for buck rubs. You're looking for those beat down trails. You're looking for those corridors. Just remember, like, when you have let's say a steep hillside, look for that deer trail. Look for the funnel points where the deer are going to be moving. And then obviously at that juncture, now you got to look for, can I find a good tree that would accommodate, where you want to hunt and how you want to hunt. That's basically what I spent about 3 hours yesterday doing, walking around, looking at these different places. I certainly was very, very intrigued, all positive stuff. Found a lot of great locations for the future. So I'm really excited about to see kind of where things kind of go. Got some prospect things that I'm going to be doing. Found some archery locations. Found some really good rifle locations. But we'll see. But I guess the moral of the story is now's a great time for you to get out there and to kind of walk the woods, find your deer sign, find your travel corridors, because now's the best time as any to find those beaten trails. Again, deer are like cattle. They love to walk on the same trails. They don't want to be walking, over a log pile. They're gonna follow a trail. So go and see if you can find some trails. See if you can find that deer sign. Find you some good trees that you can potentially, obviously, put a tree stand in, etc. But those travel corridors, excuse me, trails are annually rather consistent. Clearly, if you if a piece of property is pretty consistent year to year, if you're not timbering it or whatnot, obviously, if you're doing something where you impact the property, clearly there's a great chance that they could change their pattern a little bit. But the contour of the land, if things are pretty I would say even kill when you're not really disrupting things too much. I think there's a great opportunity for you to figure things out. And just remember, maybe this year you came close, or maybe this year you were hunting in a location and you're like, geez, those deer, if I would have moved my tree stand 80 yards, I could have killed those deer. Now's the time to go and figure out, okay, I know I want to move 80 yards. Let me find a tree that would accommodate. Boom. Find that spot, cut your shooting lanes, get it all ready, get it up there, and then next season, hopefully, you'll have a success story. Because I can tell you, I had that same scenario in my life last year. Was hunting this tree stand over and over again. I knew it was a great location. I knew it was a great spot, but I was always just a little out of range with my bow on what I was trying to harvest. I was committed. I was like, I'm moving to this location. I'm going to move it approximately 80 yards. I did cut my shooting lanes this summer, like in July, got everything set up, and sealed the deal this fall. So, from my own experience, I want to convey to you very sincerely that, just because you might not have been as successful this year, learn from any mistakes you made, learn from any failures. They're not the end of the world, and they're not something that you should look at in a negative light. You should look at it in a positive light. Learn from it. If that's stand placement, maybe it's a different type of stand, maybe it's clothing. I could go on and on. All the opportunities to improve. But right now, cannot stress it enough. Right now is a fantastic time to get out in the woods, to go looking around and seeing what you can find. There's a lot of how do I want to say this? There's a lot of opportunities right now to get out and certainly, in my opinion, to learn and prepare for this upcoming season. I kind of wanted to shift gears because I know, we'll be talking about all of these things in the future because there's still a long hunting season left. We still have goose season. Fishing is going to get better and better and better because, obviously the water levels are starting to come up. This summer was absolutely terrible. But the Game Commission is actually exploring some changes. And I wanted to kind of discuss and look at these changes and why they're so potentially important. They're looking about getting rid of the youth, the mentored youth, where your limitations on what kids you can take out. There's a lot of information right now on different. Actually, the PA Game Commission has been putting stuff up. Actually, let me see if I can. Give me 1 second. PA Game Commission office. So you can definitely Google it right now. I was looking where these different news articles are at. A lot of this has been publicized on the Game Commission website itself has it. There's a lot of other things, but there's right now if you go on the Facebook the PA Game Commission's website, there's actually on December the 19th. There's going to be a virtual meeting live stream on the PA Game Commission's YouTube channel. So the things I'm talking about right now, I think, if you have any questions or, you want to follow up on what I'm saying, because I'm kind of giving you like literally a little snippet of it. I'm going to read this to you, and this kind of gives you kind of the gist of it, and then I'll dive into it more. It says the PA Pennsylvania Board of Game Commissioners Wildlife Management Committee will hold a virtual meeting on Thursday, December the 19th, that's this week, at 1 p.m. to discuss and recommend proposals for 2025 and 2026 hunting and trapping seasons. The Wildlife Management Committee was formed this fall with the purpose of reviewing and recommending proposals to be included on the agenda for the board meeting that will take place in January of 2025. The committee is comprised of Commissioners Dennis Fredericks, Scott Fedora, Kristen Kopenhofer, Alan DeMarco, and Bob Schwalm. The committee is slated to discuss a number of proposals, including expanding ag tag seasons, making the application process easier, creating a general unit antlerless deer license that could be used in multiple wildlife management units, removing the requirement for mentored youth under 7 years old to receive big game tags for transfer, limiting the number of elk licenses that can be drawn by non-residents annually, establishing an early archery season for antlerless deer, allowing fall turkey hunters to use single projectile muzzleloader firearms, allowing any muzzleloading firearm to be used on properties enrolled in the Deer Management Assistance Program, DMAP, including the flintlock deer season, and raising the number of antlerless licenses that an individual can be in possession of in a wildlife management units 5C, 5D. The proposals that is approved by the committee will be included in the agenda for the Commissioners' January 2025 meeting, at which 2025 and 2026 hunting and trapping seasons and bag limits will be preliminarily approved. The virtual meeting will be live streamed on the PA Game Commission's YouTube channel and can be accessed through www.pgc.pa.gov. Those unable to watch on November 19th will be able to view thereafter. The full Board of Commissioners is scheduled to meet January 24th and the 25th at the Game Commission's headquarters, 2001 Elmerton Avenue, Harrisburg. The agenda for the meeting will be posted online prior to the meeting. There's kind of a lot to pack here. I don't think I'll be able to cover everything in major detail today, but I've built a relationship with some of these commissioners that are listed. They're fantastic people, and I know they really care about the needs of Pennsylvania. They want to see the sport flourish, not only survive, but flourish. I know that clearly some people have concerns about it surviving. So, anything that can be done to address the concerns of wildlife in this state and also bolster hunting, fantastic. Expanding the ag tag seasons. Ag tags I've talked about ag tags a little bit in the past. There are defined dates as to which somebody that has crop damages that you are allowed to shoot deer on your properties. I know that through Farm Bureau, I've heard about this a lot. This is certainly a concerning thing, and they're discussing it accordingly. Creating an easier process for the permit application. I can tell you, permitting as a whole in Pennsylvania is extremely confusing, convoluted. Being on the receiving end of dealing with many different types of permits, from things with the DEP, things with the Fish Commission. I deal a lot with different types of permits through the Game Commission. Certainly, I think there are a lot of opportunities to streamline permitting processes. So yes, if they can come up with a better way to streamline it and to make it easier, kudos to the Game Commission. Creating a general unit antlerless deer license that could be used in multiple WMU units. I think this is fantastic. I firmly believe this is a good idea. We've gotten so bogged down in these units, number one, which some of them are broad reaching, some of them crisscross multiple counties, some of them crisscross and divide counties into 2 and even 3 units. On a personal note, I've never been given quantitative data to justify the usage of units in Pennsylvania. I would much rather see, from a data perspective, us to utilize counties, to have that many data points as opposed to these broader swatches that divides counties, etc., and makes it confusing. I can't see the benefit of it. Obviously people will argue that, oh yes, they're the best thing since sliced bread. I know that argument's been made, but in my opinion, wildlife management has not improved with, the implementation of the units. I'm sure if anybody goes and looks at history or looks at, even participation of the outdoors, I can't really say that the units have brought any good to Pennsylvania. But I digress. That's a whole nother argument. This particular subject kind of hinges on the fact that they're trying to give basically a doe tag that could be applicable across the Commonwealth. I think that's a fantastic idea. I think it's certainly something that I firmly believe that when you get a buck tag, you should get a doe tag right out of the gate. Like, I think that should just be, you should get one doe tag that's good for anywhere in the state, no different than your buck tag. Your buck tag, your doe tag, I think you should be allowed to hunt. That's my opinion. That's what I think should be allowed. You buy your buck tag, you can shoot anywhere in PA, and I think you should be allowed one doe anywhere in PA. Then you want to go and buy beyond that. I firmly think that, that's when you get into buying tags in specific areas, specific regions, being more pinpoint conservation minded. So this stepping stone of where they're headed, I think is a good. I think it's a good step. Removing the requirement for mentored youth under 7 years old to hold and receive big game tags by transfer. I don't really know a lot about that. This is actually, I've been hearing like inklings about things that were going to be amended potentially with mentored youth. This particular topic I do not know a lot about, so I don't want to comment too much about it. It seems like clearly this is an issue. It seems like this is maybe a mechanism to, I don't know, I guess engage more people to be outside. I need to learn more about it. Because right now I would say I'm a little bit in the dark on this particular subject. Limiting the number of elk licenses that can be drawn by non-residents annually. This is a little kind of self-explanatory, but being that the annual elk tag allotments are so few here in Pennsylvania, and you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people that pay to be in this lottery, and ultimately some people might never be drawn for this. The odds of you being drawn are, less and less and less. Basically, people out-of-state residents, non-residents of Pennsylvania, basically have the same opportunities as residents. So with that being said, I think there's been a lot of blowback from people because basically, residents could put their, basically it's to establish that it's not all one pot. There would be so many non-resident tags and so many resident tags, because right now, basically, the risk is that the residents in many ways can be on the outside looking in, can be flooded by the non-residents. So, I'm sure there could be a long debate about that particular subject. But the ultimate thing is the Game Commission is trying to make sure that there are more tags allotted for residents than non-residents. That's basically it to the crux. Right now it all gets intermingled and intermixed, and basically that's to help address that, to make sure that there's more of the tags are allocated for residents as opposed to non. All right, moving on. Establishing an early archery season for antlerless deer. I don't have a problem with this. Other states do this. Instead of deer season basically opening up first Saturday of October, this would create, I'm assuming, 2 or even 4 weeks. I would assume probably the month of September would be open for archery doe hunting. I don't really see a negative about it. By this time, the fawns are large enough. Basically they've had how many months to grow. They're eating regular food. They're weaned off of their mothers at this particular point in time. I definitely think you could easily get away with 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of September. So, maybe archery would open up like the second Saturday, if that's what the idea here. I'm speculating. But yeah, I think the last 2 weeks of September, certainly, that's a great idea. It's another opportunity to get more people outside, shooting some deer, harvesting deer, whether that's with, a bow. We're going to shift gears here and look at these DMAP tags in a second. But, any opportunity to better manage wildlife, I think, is critical. Let's see. Next one. Allowing fall turkey hunters to use single projectile muzzleloading firearms. This is the first I've actually heard of this. I do not know what prompted this. I'm assuming that there are people hunting with a flintlock that would like the opportunity to be allowed to shoot a turkey, I'm guessing. I haven't really heard of anybody advocating for this, so I'm not really sure. Clearly, it come from some part of the state for it to be one of the agenda items. I would say I'm kind of interested to see what comes of that. I do not really know what's being utilized in other states in regards to that. I can tell you shooting anything with flintlock is quite an achievement. So, but it says single projectile muzzle loading firearms. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that kind of pans out. So we'll stay tuned on that one. That's a new one for me as well. Allowing any muzzleloading firearm to be used in properties enrolled in the Deer Management Assistance Program. This, I think. So basically, I'm reading this now. A single projectile would be a flintlock. Any muzzleloading firearm would apply to, so for example, say you're a farmer like myself, and so I'll give you an example of why I think this is important. So the Game Commission actually has a formula for the Deer Management Assistance Program. So say you're a farmer, and you don't even need to be a farmer. Let's just say you own land, and let's say you have like 200 acres and it's all wooded. And let's just hypothetically say that you're next to a farmer's field, or maybe you have 200 acres plus you have a field, and you're seeing a huge amount of deer in the fields. Clearly, they are pretty well beating down and knocking down the upcoming undergrowth within your woods or your forest. A conservation method to try to manage this problem is this Deer Management Assistance Program. So basically, the Game Commission has a formula. Depending on how many acres of field you have, how many acres of woods you have, it determines how many tags that you can, potentially be given for your management practice. So this rifle season, what I did, I really asked people about shooting does within archery. People really don't want to be, I hate to say this, they don't want to be bothered with it to shoot them in archery. But I do believe if there was an earlier season, like the last 2 weeks of September, I definitely think that could be a window that people would be more engaged. Because once you pass the second week of October, it starts getting cold. The rut starts, the pre-rut and all that stuff starts happening, and people really get captivated. I'm not defending it one way or another. I mean, it's all about your choice and what you choose to do and how you choose to hunt. But I think that this idea about the early season, the early 2 weeks of archery, I think it has a lot of potential. That being said, being allowed to use any flintlock or any muzzle-loading firearm on these properties during flintlock deer season. So why this is important is a lot of times during flintlock season in Pennsylvania, especially now, we've had really poor conditions. And obviously you're well aware that hunting with a flintlock is not easy. If you've never hunted with a flintlock, it is not easy. It's not easy when the conditions are good, let alone when the conditions are not good. If you have rainy conditions, the odds of harvesting an animal are extremely difficult. That is a tall task. That's a major achievement. I mean, shooting a deer with a flintlock is, in my opinion, an achievement. It's not simple. It's not easy. It's extremely difficult. Kudos to you if you've done it. It's a very hard thing to accomplish and to do, because you're shooting 100 yards or closer. Probably 50 yards is more or less where you want to be. But ultimately, the point is these DMAP tags, I'll use myself as an example. Based upon my acreage and what I have, the Game Commission awarded us 20 tags. I do not want to shoot deer in the summer. I do not want to shoot, a full-grown doe with babies. I do not want to do that. That's my personal choice. I understand these ag programs and whatnot. They exist because there's a lot of people out there that their livelihoods depend on managing wildlife. And, you'll hear the saying, if I have to shoot a deer to protect my livelihood, then so be it. And I totally respect that. For me, my livelihood is different. My livelihood is about being able to maintain my environment, being able to maintain conservation, being a good conservationist in general. But when I have too many deer, it's a detriment to what I'm trying to achieve. Basically, I end up drawing in the deer, and it becomes almost like a double-edged sword. So I have to properly manage the deer. This year was the first time I participated in the Deer Management Assistance Program. I actually thought the Game Commission was pretty good with me about it, about utilizing it. I would say I learned a lot about what people are and are not willing to do. Also, so let me back up here. So I get my tags. I get 20 tags, right? And I know myself, the opportunity with harvesting with a high-powered rifle in rifle season is certainly the best and I would say most opportunistic chance to fill those tags. So I myself, in rifle season over the 2 weeks, I ended up harvesting 5 does and butchered them and the whole 9 yards. Well, the one thing, first of all, is I then allocated tags to other people. So then I'm dealing with, first of all, explaining where to take these people, showing them where to go. Here's the stands, making sure they're okay. So that becomes its own project, is getting these people to and from where they need to go, making sure they're okay. Then if they do shoot anything, then obviously I have to help get it off the property, dealing with all of that. So that becomes its own job. I shot 5 myself, so I dealt with my own, what I had to deal with. Then I had to deal with butchering the deer. I did it myself. The point being is, in 2 weeks, we harvested 8 does and 2 bucks, 10 deer in total in 2 weeks. I was exhausted, utterly exhausted from, again, dealing with getting these people where they needed to go, lining them up, dealing with people missing deer, bad shots on deer, having to track. We had to track a couple. I can tell you in 2 weeks, I was utterly exhausted. I was ready for rifle season to be over. I put in so much time and effort just trying to manage what we had achieved. 10 deer were extremely time consuming. There's no way possible. Could we have shot more? Probably. But I was honestly pushing myself to the limit physically because I was so tired. I wasn't, I'm up at, 4:30 in the morning, cutting deer, getting people in the tree stand, showing people where to go, dragging deer after they shoot one, helping, the whole 9 yards, processing the deer. It was so, I was beat down. So what I'm trying to say is like, for me, I would rather shoot the deer in rifle season. It's just a more proficient opportunity. It's a better opportunity. I had actually recommended to the Game Commission, I didn't even know that this all was going to be discussed at this upcoming meeting. I actually believe that people in the Deer Management Assistance Program should be allowed to use a high-powered rifle even in late season. Why I say that is, and where I'm assuming that this whole like dynamic of concern lies, is you do not have to have all of the fluorescence on. Like the standards are a little different whenever flintlock's in. People will be archery hunting again. So I think there's probably a concern over mixing and matching high-powered rifle with the muzzleloader flintlock. I will say, there are a lot of muzzleloaders that are basically, I don't want to say foolproof, but there's a lot of muzzleloaders today that you don't necessarily have to worry about, your pan getting damp or wet, your flint not going off. I have all that stuff. I've been through that. I've had misfires. That is, in my opinion, if you're trying to manage deer, that is not a method that I would recommend utilizing. A flintlock is a tremendous tool. It was a tremendous tool for its time. Certainly, it is something that you can utilize now. It's an enjoyable experience. If you want to go out with your friends and do that, is that something to do, like, as a tradition? It's a fantastic thing. When it comes to managing wildlife and statistically, like, managing the resource, I couldn't pick much farther from reality as to you would not want to use a flintlock. The new inline muzzleloaders are fantastic, and I think it's a great stepping stone. I think it'll be a great test to see when these deer are collected, when they're harvested with this new program, if it seems to go into effect. But I'm all for it because I do not want to be out managing deer with a flintlock. I'm beat down, dead tired with a high-powered rifle. Certainly, a flintlock is not my method of choice for conservation management. I digress. I'll be off for a couple weeks with the holidays coming in the new year. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all. I also want to just thank WMBS and all the staff here for a tremendous year. It's been a wonderful year. Thank you all. Thank you all of the listeners out there. You've been great. I'll be back the following Wednesday after the new year. Look forward to hearing from all of you. But please enjoy your Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. Please join the MOA today at MarianaOutdoors.com. Book an upland bird hunt, whitetail hunt, or a turkey hunt with 10 Mile Creek Outfitters at Wild Acres Farm, 10mileco.org. I'm Jason White. This has been The Great Outdoors. It's been a blessed 2024. I look forward to continuing our conversations in 2025. Merry Christmas. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.